In the late 19th century, telephone networks were in their infancy. In order to call anyone, one will first call the operator, and the operator will connect the call. However, an undertaker named Almon Stroger was not happy about the operator. Stroger suspected that his customers were being intentionally directed to his rival by the operator because of a close relationship. In order to take the operator out of the picture, he introduced a new way of calling people, an electromechanical switch, which is also known as Stroger switch. With this invention, he gave the customers the ability to call them directly without talking to the operator. So if we summarize what happened, first of all, the people who control the network, it is the operator in this case, discriminated traffic. Such discrimination had a negative business impact on Stroger. So the network, not the customer, decided who will get the business. Secondly, the invention of the electromechanical switch brought neutrality to the network in general. Now, the customer, not the network, decided who will get the business. The power of decision making went from the network to the customer. So, why do I even mention an event that happened over 100 years ago? Because the two previously mentioned points, network discrimination and neutrality brought by electromechanical switch, are at the heart of the current debate. Actually, the main question about network neutrality is whether the network owner or provider can discriminate traffic based on its type or its origin. If so, what is the extent of it? To understand this debate better, we first have to look at the developments in telephone and data networks, and then developments in policy, and finally to the networked information economy, which is an economy based on social production. So let's first start with telephone networks. Since the invention of the Stroger switch, networks, or the switches, became more intelligent while the end devices stay dumb. Meaning that services or applications were provided by the network, not the end devices. For example, signal system number 7 network, which is a network that is used all over the world, provides services like 800 number calling or number portability. Such services are provided by the intelligent network elements, and the dumb endpoints like this just use these services. So we can say that telephone networks are network-centric, meaning that the intelligence resides at the center of the network. Now let's go to the data networks. The intelligence, meaning the services and applications, has shifted from the network to the end devices. The main purpose of the network is to transport packets, which are created by the end devices. This is not a coincidence. Actually, it's the direct outcome of end-to-end design of the internet. In this design, the endpoints, not the network, provide the services or applications. For example, an email which is created by the end device is sent to another end device. In this case, the job of the network is to carry this email to its final destination and nothing else. We can conclude that data networks are end-user centric, meaning that they are decentralized. The intelligence resides at the endpoints. Now, let's take a look at two time-sensitive data like voice or video, which require low delay for a successful transport. For instance, a delay like this is not desirable. In order to provide quality of service, meaning that the packets arrive to their location on time, network assistance is needed. For example, in case of a congestion, the network needs to prioritize time-sensitive packets to provide low delay. This means that the network becomes more intelligent and carries the characteristics of telephone networks. This also means that it distances itself from end-to-end design. Now, let's look at two developments in policy. Telecom Act of 1996 defined two types of services: telecommunication services and information services. Telephone companies, which are the carrier of telecommunication services, were heavily regulated in this act, while the information service carriers, like cable companies, were lightly regulated. One can interpret this as government's support for broadband expansion. FCC is also a supporter of broadband expansion. It intervenes whenever it sees a threat to it. For example, in 2004, Madison River ISP blocked voice-over IP traffic in its data network. FCC intervened and said no, and it overruled ISP's decision. In 2004, Michael Powell, then FCC Chairman, listed 4 internet freedoms. First one is the freedom to access content, meaning that people should be able to access to the legal content of their choice. Secondly, people should be able to run their choice of applications. Third, people should be able to attach any personal device that does not harm the network. And last, people should be able to learn clearly what their service plan is about. These listed freedoms were not a regulation, but they were a request from the industry. In 2005, FCC Chairman Kevin Martin stated that no regulation was needed if the industry continued to respect these internet principles. So why try to maintain these principles? Because the benefits of the internet are just humongous. Yochai Benkler actually explains these benefits in his book called Wealth of Networks. Benkler coins a term called networked information economy, which is driven by social production. So what are the characteristics of this social production? First of all, it is a non-proprietary production. For example, the famous operating system Linux is an open source software where the code is open to everyone who would like to read it, copy it, or edit it. Secondly, it is a non-market production, meaning that it acts outside of the market sphere. For example, a very popular browser called Firefox is available to everyone for free. And the last characteristics of the social production is mass collaboration. Such mass collaboration creates wonders like the online encyclopedia Wikipedia. This online encyclopedia is literally being edited by millions all over the world. Benefits of social production are humongous. Let's first start with individual freedoms. As the cost of computers decreased, the individual's ability to access to the information or contribute to the information became possible. Now individuals are not bound by capital investments. Network information economy increases individuals' freedom to do something for themselves or by themselves. Network information economy provides greater cultural freedoms to individuals by allowing them to contribute into culture without financial concerns. For example, Da Vinci Automata is a blog based on the clockpunk genre of science fiction. The contributors of this blog are able to express themselves by just preparing a website. The readers of this website are able to experience this unique culture which was not bound by financial concerns. Network information economy also provides greater political freedom where views can be easily accessible in the public sphere. For example, MoveOn.org is a political website where views are accessible by anyone who has internet connection. Network information economy also provides greater justice and development around the world. Such goal is achieved by providing free tools to the masses which effectively lower the cost of education. Linux, Firefox, OpenOffice, and Ubuntu are examples of free software. As seen in this diagram, increased education is directly related to increased GDP per capita, which is directly related to health and life expectancy in a country. The availability of free tools allow people to participate and benefit from the production. This means that more people have more chances to participate and benefit from the offered goods in the world. Network information economy also provides economical gains. For example, IBM makes more money with social production tools like Linux than its proprietary production. As seen in this diagram, as of year 2002, the revenues that are generated by Linux-led services are higher than proprietary production. So, why do I mention network information economy in a network neutrality presentation? Because those who support network neutrality want to maintain and improve network information economy because it provides all of the previously mentioned benefits. And the main driver behind all of these benefits is the end user. End-to-end design, which is the basis of the internet, empowers the end user to contribute and benefit from the network information economy. However, the same end-to-end design which provides all of these benefits does not perform so well for certain applications like voice or video. These time-sensitive applications require the involvement of the network, which will discriminate certain traffic to provide quality of service. So if we repeat the question of network neutrality in another way, what is the impact of discriminating traffic based on its type or its origin on network information economy? Those who oppose network neutrality regulations believe that the market will balance itself to provide the best service, which may be by forming a more intelligent network. And those who support network neutrality regulation believe that market alone will not provide the best solution, and the market will be skewed towards the network rather than the end user, which may harm the benefits of end-to-end design. To answer the question of whether there should be a network neutrality regulation, following 5 points must be considered. First of all, the extent of any network neutrality regulation needs to be explained further. Being against or for network neutrality regulation does not mean much without knowing details of such regulation. This debate is not a binary logic. There may be more answers. Secondly, we cannot ignore the fact that there is duopoly in the last mile. As of today, the majority of the access is either through DSL or cable. Since there are only two options for the last mile, the market may not regulate itself because of the lack of competition. Thirdly, we cannot ignore the importance of end-to-end design on the development of the Internet. Network information economy is based on end-to-end design, and it provides economical benefits. Its social impact on freedoms and justice around the world cannot be ignored. End-to-end design does not always perform well for certain applications. Therefore, network providers should be able to benefit from vertical integration to provide quality of service. However, such integration should just favor applications, not companies. In my opinion, networks are public infrastructures that bring many positive externalities. This does not mean that the companies that deploy networks should be exempt of making money. But the social benefits of the networks cannot be ignored. I believe that these 5 points need to be considered for a healthy debate, which will hopefully provide a healthy answer to our question. Thank you.